Okay guys, doing a wooden sculpture stand product review today. A lot of times you go online and you'll see a sculpture stand that looks kind of like this. Tripod wooden stand, pretty common. And I have two brands here. This is the Mabef, which I think they make in Italy, and this is the Utrecht brand stand. They look pretty similar. And I think someone may have given this one to me. It's not one I may have chosen on my own. I have other sculpture stands that are metal, ones that I've made myself, which are much stronger and larger. But not everyone can make a stand. I don't always want to make a stand. Sometimes I'd like to just buy a stand. And I recently taught a workshop with Michael Shane Neal in Connecticut where I needed a bunch of stands to fit in my station wagon. When I was looking online to buy stands. So I tried this Utrecht stand because the top is a little bigger. The Mabef is 13 inches. The Utrecht is about 16 inches. So I put that together, and there were some things I realized about this stand that aren't as good as this stand. So the Utrecht stand, number one, even though the top's bigger, the post in the middle is smaller. So this, let's see, this is 24. It looks smaller anyway. Let's see, this is smaller. This is, oops. This must be longer, this one. Well, it's not much longer. It's like 25 or 26. This one's thicker, this one's thinner. I don't know if that's such an issue, but what I found was an issue is when they drill this hole at the top. Okay, the Mabef company does a better job making this a tight fit. In other words, when you're sculpting, the last thing you want is for this to be going back and forth a lot. You can hear it, it wiggles a little bit. Whereas this one, I think they made this hole too wide, so it really wiggles a lot. So that's not good. That's not good at all. Both stands have a similar kind of L-wrench fixture at the top. That's not the greatest thing. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want something that's 100 pounds on top of that. But other than this being worse on the Utrecht, the other thing is the Utrecht wood is a lot cheaper. Hear that hollow sound? Whereas Mabef is solid. So I think overall the Mabef stand is better, even though it's a smaller top. And the difference in price is really not an issue. I think that the Utrecht is like $160 and this one's $140 or thereabouts. You know, you'll find deals on different sites. So you know, the price isn't that much different. If anything, they'll save a little bit getting the Mabef. Like I said, this plywood is really hard. It's a nice wood, whereas this is, you know, it's almost like you could probably hit this with a hammer and it might make a hole in it. So these three plywood pieces sound pretty hollow to me. I don't know what's on the inside, whereas the Mabef ply is solid. Another thing is they both come with these really rinky-dink pins. Like, I don't know who designed this, so maybe if Utrecht sees this, they'll fix it. But I mean, that pin barely even goes through, and they want you to use that to hold your sculpture up. So really, it's only holding it on one end. And of course, if you have a heavy sculpture on that, it's going to eventually wear into this, and you know, your stand won't last very long. So I would replace this pin with something longer, like a nail. But even that's going to eventually wear into that. So I would add maybe a metal flange to this, or a plastic PVC ring, just to protect the wood. And really, I mean, this stand is good for something Well, I mean, I would say it's not good for me because it moves like that. So you're gonna have to thicken up this this pin here, this post. I don't know how you do that. It'd be a pain in the butt. So I would just recommend get the Mabef brand, unless Utrecht can fix this problem. If they can start drilling this hole tighter, then it's not going to wiggle like that. And maybe I could recommend this stand. But for now, I'll recommend the, if you're going to get a wooden tripod stand on Google, get the Mabef. This might be fine for display, maybe in a gallery, just to have something on display for someone to look at. But for a working stand, I mean, look at that. That's just, even with the nail in there, it wiggles like crazy. So I wish someone had made that video for me, because I had to buy these things on my own. Now the stand that I would like to recommend, which they don't make anymore, is this El Dorado stand, which I've had for years. I remember it was one of the most expensive things I bought when I was first starting out as a sculptor. It was $750 for this stand. But look how solid it's made. It has a crank, it rotates. You can prevent it from rotating by tightening this little toggle here, whatever you want to call that. And it folds down. So this tripod collapses for travel. This handle comes off. So in my ideal world, I would have 10 or 12 of these, but you can't buy them anymore. So if someone wants to make a crank stand similar to this, I would be happy to recommend that, and I would buy a bunch of them. Okay, so this is superior, but again, they don't make them anymore, and not everybody has $700, $800 to invest in a sculpture stand, especially when you're starting out. See, this comes off. So when you travel, it's really nice. And look at how they bolted this. Again, this is solid plywood, even thicker than the Mabef, and you have this this welded flange plate with a really nice fitting. So the old expression, they don't make them like they used to. They really don't. I don't know why I think they were making these in Mexico. I don't know why they stopped, but they made this El Dorado stand and a bigger one called the Hercules, which I think can hold like maybe a ton, maybe, I don't know how many thousands of pounds or hundreds of pounds, but this is a great stand. So if you can make one like this, I'd like that. And I have some other homemade stands that maybe I'll share in a different video. All right, take care.